Hi friends, Magma here. Just before we get into the start of this video, I did want to mention that Goblin is still doing lessons on Metafy, and if you are interested on doing any sort of lessons with him or anyone that you really want to look out for, you can either check out their Twitter accounts. They'll usually have links to them. But for Goblin specifically, all of his information and Twitch information will be down in this description below. In addition, I will also be streaming every Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday at 7 p.m. EST to 10. If you want to see how these lessons affected me personally, you can come and see my journey there. But without further ado, let's get on with the lesson.
So you're a roadman from Michigan, right?
Yes.
Okay. That's a pretty cool region.
Yeah, it's very tough. Always has been.
Yeah, you have players like Zenodo, you have Daybreak, Boo Bear.
Goma Kempi, if you haven't heard of him, he's really good. We got Smasher.
Yeah. I know of like basically everyone in Michigan.
Yeah, Nico just moved here too, which doesn't help.
Yep. Does not. Alright, so let's see here. So on your let's see here. Alright. See current. So on Metafy, you said you want to see current weak points and build a plan for improvement.
Yes.
So basically, we want to build like a kind of like a routine or like a regimen that we want to follow, so we can improve as fast and as best as possible.
Yeah.
All right. So let's see what else she wrote here. And you can never edge out versus people that you're supposed to lose to.
Yeah, I've come really close multiple times.
So why do you think? So why do you put versus who I'm supposed to lose to? Like, why are you supposed to lose to people?
It's mostly based on seeding, and like I've been almost exclusively losing to PR players or PR hopefuls in the region. And other than that, they're like zoners. We have a really good Belmont player named Augie here, who even goes toe to toe with Advo from time to time. So.
Okay. So first things first, make sure that anything that you feel is important, or which is basically probably going to be anything I say.
Yeah.
Make sure you go ahead and you write it down, and you just keep note of it. Whether you write it down or you type it up, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'm recording this if you don't mind.
Oh, of course.
Yeah, that helps me not miss any details.
Yeah. All right. So if you don't want to write notes because we're already recording, that's perfectly fine. But first things first. When it comes to mentality, because mentality is surprisingly a very important thing in Smash and just improving in general. You should never have the words suppose and should and deserve in your vocabulary.
Okay.
Like thinking you should win or you should lose or you're supposed to win or you're supposed to lose or you deserve to win or you didn't deserve to lose. Having those type of thoughts or having those type of words in your vocabulary and that thought process, it's not going to be beneficial to you at all. It's just useless filler information that you don't need at all, and it's not going to help you improve at all. Whether you're fighting your round one or Daybreak or anyone good in Michigan or anyone good in general, you can't have any expectations and you can't have any you just can't have any expectations on how you think you're going to do in that set. So if you're fighting, let's say you're round one, you probably expect yourself to win your round one almost all the time.
Yeah.
And that's fair, but there's always the off chance that the person you're round one fighting is pretty good or they're not that bad. So you should never have that whole stigmatism with thinking that you shouldn't lose your round one or thinking you shouldn't lose rounds because you're better than them or they're just a round one. The same way other players who have bad mentalities, who are better players, where they don't think they should be losing in winners quarters of their tournaments or winners semis or losing their tournaments at all. It's useless egotistical vocabulary and mindsets like that hold players back in without even them realizing that it's holding them back. So
yeah, I fully agree.
You have to take that whole suppose, should, and deserve out of the window. Take it out.
Okay.
So on to that. And also, that just comes with the whole thing where, you can lose to anyone and you can beat anyone, people don't enter tournaments because they think they're going to lose and think they're going to go 0-2. So there's no, so you're supposed to beat people or you should be beating these people, you know, because everyone goes to win. So everyone should be having the mindset of, I'm going to go to this tournament and I'm going to learn as much as I can. And if I win, I win, you know? Always be having the mentality of learning and seeing how you can improve your play for the next tournament. Because, you know, locals, even though they matter personally and at a local level, on the grand scheme of things, they don't really matter. And you should only be seeking locals as, you know, improvement for yourself and improvement for the big stage when it actually matters.
Yeah, of course, like a super major.
So I have this code here. And also, even then, when it comes to super majors, you know, you should always be having that same mindset. There's no reason to be changing mindsets because of like the situation you're in. If you're in like a house party, but there's like other good players there, you know, same mindset. You're there to learn, and you're there to like do your best. And you know, if you don't do that well, you're gonna take it as a learning experience. If you do well, you win the tournament, that's also a learning experience, you know?
Yeah, of
It's
course.
honestly better sometimes that we go 0-2 and we learn as much as we can than we win the tournament with no games dropped.
Yeah. One of my biggest improvements I've made over the past couple of years competing was to not so much like expect to win, but be prepared to lose in case, just so I don't like get upset if I lose. I don't expect to lose, but I don't expect to win. I'm just prepared to lose. I'm also prepared to win, but it's more so to prevent any sort of salt if I happen to lose.
Okay, so what if we took prepared to lose out of our vocabulary and we took prepared to win also out of our vocabulary, and we were just prepared to learn as much as we can?
Okay.
We're
that
able
makes
to
more
see
sense.
what we're doing wrong as players, and we're able to see what our opponents are doing wrong as their own player. And, you know, just by that thought process, you're able to see a lot more clearly on what you're doing wrong, what you're doing correctly, and what your opponent is doing wrong, what your opponent is taking advantage of. You know, thinking of just winning, thinking you need like just to win or not to lose, they're clouding and they're just blinding your thought process on actually seeing how the game is and just thinking how you're going to win this game.
Okay. Yeah, because I guess that restricts me to more of a binary win-lose only scenario rather than what the interactions actually matter.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So also, let me break it down for you for what I like to do. So we'll play a best of 5, and I'll record the first and the last game of the set.
Okay.
Throughout the set, I'll be giving you tips on little things that I noticed. Won't be diving into too much detail because we'll save that for after. So after the set, we'll go back and we'll watch those first and last game, and we'll be seeing what we need to be doing better, what we need to take out of our gameplay, and you know, any little things I notice.
Okay.
And then after that, we'll go ahead and we'll watch a top Roy player, so probably either me or Cola.
Okay.
And we'll see what we're doing differently from you that you need to start doing, or you need to do less and take out of your gameplay.
All right, that last part's really going to help because I watch you quite a bit, and I'm just like, it feels like I'm doing the same thing, but I'm clearly not. So.
All right. So, before we play, do you have any questions before we start?
No, just I do have one stipulation is that I am currently saving for a new controller because my springs are a little messed up. So if I mess up any jars, that's probably because of that.
Perfectly cool. All right.
Well, what are the odds of that, huh?
Yeah, well, I have a mod. I usually don't use this skin, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, the mod just lands on that skin. Alright, and also, I don't talk in between my games or during games, but
that's fine.
If you'd like to talk during games, that's perfectly fine with me.
Okay, I'm going to try to stay silent and be as focused as possible.
Alright, sounds good.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
All right. I wasn't too bad.
That's good.
Okay,
That's good to hear.
All right, so few things that I noticed. One, you need to be a lot more movement heavy. The way you play is you go from point A to point B, and then if you choose an option, and then after you choose an option, if the option doesn't work or not, you go back to point A, and then you just constantly rotate back from point A to point B, and you don't really have like a mix-up between that, and that's a huge, huge problem in your gameplay because the way Ultimate works is people like to complain a lot and just say that the movement isn't there, and that the movement options just aren't good enough in this game. But if you restrict yourself with the already poor movement options we have, then it's very telegraphed and it's very linear where characters will be. The way initial dash works is you'll always be in the same spot. If you do like an initial dash, you always be in the same spot from point A to point B because that's just how initial dashes work. So if you do initial dash, choose option, and then go back, I know that the next time you dash, you're gonna initial dash, and then you're gonna choose an option because you did an option, and then you let's say you did something like a jab, and then you shielded, and then you dash back. Not
Okay.
good. You need to be very ambiguous. You need to be very spontaneous.
Okay.
Like a character like
That's like interesting to hear. I do know that movement is like my main focus, so I will have to mix it up on more options on like where I end up then.
Yep. So basically, basically when you start moving, you need to be you want to always mix up where you are and what you're doing every time you do something. Mixing up as much as you can and as much as possible is very important with a character like Roy, especially because a lot of these characters in this game have projectiles or they have some way to zone you out. Roy doesn't necessarily have that. He has to rely only on his speed. So if you're doing like one dash and then you're just dashing back, you have speed, that's cool, but you're not utilizing it anywhere close to its full potential, And with a lot of characters who are playing zoners and they're playing like not anti-rushdown characters or better players who are just play a lot slower, they play a lot campier, they're just gonna beat you up for it because you're dashing in like one way and it's very linear and it's very telegraphed.
Okay.
And it was the way like zoners work. Since you're having trouble with zoners, that's one big way they take advantage of calling out rushdown characters. So if you go from point A to point B all the time, if you're fighting a character like let's say Samus, if you dash, the Samus is probably gonna grab because they know you're gonna dash forward and that's it. You're not gonna dash back. You're not gonna mix up jump ins, and you're not gonna like do it like a dash or like a walk even. So because you're not mixing up anything, nothing is different is happening. So when they just see you dash, they know it's gonna come. And since Roy doesn't already he has no travel options like a monkey flip or a flip kick. So wherever he is, he's there. He's not gonna get anywhere very fast by like a move. So he's either there or he's gonna jump away or he's gonna roll or spot dodge away, which are normal options that every character has. So it's very easy to call out telegraphed and linear dashes. Something else that you probably want to start implementing is be a lot more reserved and don't always commit full on, because again, we have that speed, so you don't always have to just run in nair, run in forward air, or run in like side B, run in commit in general,
Okay.
because there's a lot better ways to just bait people to run in, bait people to attack you in this game than rushing in and hoping they just get hit, you know? There's so many instances where people can just easily just dash back, and Roy just puts himself in a bad spot because he approached, and then now he has to disengage, or now he can just force even more, but then that's not a good idea because he just put himself in a bad spot. So you want to avoid putting yourself in a bad spot as much as possible while also keep moving. And another thing to add on to that, if you notice that you mess up on something, so let's say that you side B,
Mm-hmm.
and I shielded the first 2 hits of side B, and you're like, oh no, I'm gonna get punished, you know?
Yeah.
And then you shield. So instead of doing that all the time, if you're like popping shield or after you make a mistake, or rolling after you make a mistake, mix up what you do and try to use as less resources as possible. So let's say you do like a down tilt, and then I shield down tilt, or you do jab and I shield jab, and you're scared of what's going to happen after. You know, most characters already have a true punish to jab, so regardless if you put your shield up or not, you're most likely going to get punished. Like Roy can always punish Roy jabbing with up B. So
Yeah.
if you jab someone's shield, you can't be thinking about, you know, shielding. You should just probably roll away or run away or disengage entirely. In a lot of
Okay.
cases, you want to do that with moves that are even safer. So if you do, let's say, like a landing up air on shield, you don't want to shield because you know it didn't work, or you don't want to spot dodge because it didn't work. You probably just want to disengage entirely from the situation so you can see how your opponent is going to react. Because it's a lot harder for your opponent to punish you for running away after doing an aerial than you doing an aerial, shielding, your opponent going, okay, my opponent shielded, I'm going to grab them. You know, it's a lot more
Okay.
objective to punish a shield than a dash away, because the dash away could lead into anything.
Yeah. And I do know that at least Roy has. We're pretty lucky because his initial dash starts off super low, and I remember watching I think a Gimmer video where if I dash away due to I think it's a frame one input that like his hurt box just shifts so much that it's really hard for a lot of characters to punish that.
Yeah,
So I
he
could
has a
just.
bit. He is a little lower than most characters when he initially when he's dashing.
Hmm.
So that definitely helps a lot. Um, and one last thing I would say is when you're playing more reserved, you also want to bait people into jumping into you and then dashing into you. You want people to make mistakes for you without you making mistakes yourself. You know, you should
Okay.
be thinking what your opponent is gonna do. You should already be confident what you think your opponent's gonna do, and then just be ready for it. If you're fighting, let's say, like a Rob player, I use Rob all the time, but let's say you're fighting like a Rob player, and you know they like to nair a lot. So instead of fishing for parries when you know they're going to nair a lot,
Hmm.
you can condition them to think you're going to parry and then just dash back side B, or
Oh, I
just
didn't even
parry
think
once or
about that.
just parry once or twice and then whip punish the nair, because you don't want to set yourself up for mix up from your opponent because they see how you like to play. So you know, if you're parrying a lot or you're fishing for parries a lot, that's the same thing as going for like an F smash. If you do something so many times where it's obvious to the point that anyone can point it out, you know, it's as punishable as anything else.
Yeah.
So if a Rob player sees you, you know, trying to spam parries for his nairs, he's gonna go, okay, this guy's spamming parries for my nairs. I'm probably just gonna back air or I'm gonna down air, and you know that beats parries on nair. So then you're like, oh fuck, I don't know what to do because my parries aren't working. So instead of thinking that you have to time parries for both nair, dare, and back air, simply just running away from the situation, seeing what they do, and being able to punish it on reaction or being able to punish it once they throw that move out is very, very good. It's
Okay.
way better than just hoping that they do the thing you want instead of already beating the thing that you know they're going to do, or beating most things that they're going to do, because you know a landing downer is super punishable. So if they landing down there when you're not looking for parries, easy punish. If they back air when you're looking for punishes, easy punish. They nair, you know, it's an easy punish. So all these things can lose to different things that aren't just parry. So mix up how you want to punish things and mix up how you approach things as well. You know, you can play both ways like that. So if let's say you're like in disadvantage, and your opponent knows you like the landing up air all the time. And again, it's that whole thing. If you know they have like the landing up air a lot, it's the same thing as doing F smashes for no reason. They're gonna
Mm-hmm.
parry your up airs because you do it in the same time, or if you just do the same move, it's gonna get punished. And if you're not mixing it up, you're not scary, you're not ambiguous. So doing different things like mixing up with landing side B, like landing forward air, landing down air, or not even landing with an aerial near them and seeing how they react. There's so many things that you want to get off your opponent and just take note of. So when it comes to the later stock or the later percentage where, every hit matters, then you can take that information that you built up for like the previous stocks or the earlier interactions, and then you can use it to your fullest advantage. Because Roy is a very scary character, especially with down tilt and his safe aerials. So if you can constantly condition people to fall for things where at later percent you already have it set up, it's a lot easier to take stock, and you don't feel the need to just run up and jab people and hope they get hit by jab, or run up down tilt people or run up side B people and hope they just get hit by it.
Okay. One question I do have for you then would be, what would my best tools be to try to force jump-ins? Would it be down tilt?
Yep, you can do like simple things like down tilt, dash back, they jump in, that's a punish. You could do things like nair, dash back, that's a punish. Any move that you can do that it's safe enough for the opponent cannot punish it, where they have to punish the option after, you can condition it for them to do whatever you want them to do. So if you do a down tilt and you want to and they like to roll away, you down tilt, they roll away, you know what to do, just a dash side B or a dash F tilt, dash F smash, whatever you can do.
Okay.
All right.
All right. That's a lot. That's very helpful. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man. Okay.
All right. I was surprised I hit that.
Yeah, I think it's because I angled it super forward.
Yeah, you're definitely into the corner of the like the crevice of Smashville.
I was trying to disrupt it before you got it off, but I should know better not to do that against you because you just time it right.
So for that game, you did a lot better. And I don't know if you noticed it, but you're able to do a lot better. You're able to slow the place down of the gameplay,
Hmm.
and that's good. You want to make the game at the pace that you want it to be. If
Hmm.
you let your opponent control the pace of the game, that's on their tempo and that's on their pace, and that's where they're the most comfortable, and that's where you're not the most comfortable because they've played on that pace and they play on that like tempo so often that they're already so comfortable into it that if you let your opponent steal away that tempo and just let them control the game, it becomes way too difficult to reverse that momentum and get the tempo going for you. So that was very good recognition from you. Uh, what I do want to see more is I want to see less shields and less double upping on options for or double downing on options for no reason.
Okay.
What I mean by
Um.
that is if you pop shield and you don't really know why you're shielding and then you do like a spot dodge, but the spot dodge made no sense and then you disengage, there's so many wasted frames and wasted time that we didn't have to waste that you could have just done something that was beneficial to you and getting information off your opponent, because all that does for me is give me information that when something is going on or when you don't know why you're doing something or when you do something that's a mistake, you're most likely to double up on bad options such as like or any panic option really.
Yeah, that actually reminds me of a habit I realized I had a couple months ago, but forgot to stay disciplined on, which is when I go for committal options, I often commit to a super hard defensive option as well. I used to
Hmm.
counter after certain things like that too. And I was like, I stop it. It's terrible. Just stop. And now
Yeah.
I just kind of like shield or spot dodge or something that just like sits me there when I could just be moving instead.
Yep. It makes no sense really to just make a mistake and then shield like they're gonna attack you or spot dodge like they're gonna grab you.
Hmm.
When you can just like run away and then that whole RPS guessing game, you don't really have to go into it because you can see what they're gonna do and see how they react. And sometimes players can't even recognize if you messed up until you let them know that you messed up. So if you do something and you're like, oh, I didn't mean to do that, or oh, I shouldn't have done that, and then you shield or you spot dodge right after, players are going, okay, so when he does this is not good for him, so he does this after he messes up. And that gives them way too much information on how you like to play, and then that is how a lot of players get snowballs, and then they just steamroll the opponent.
Okay, so it pretty much just telegraphs that I know I made a mistake, and now they know I made a mistake.
Yeah, basically. And you don't want your opponent to know you make mistakes because then, they'll just cycle it basically where you make that option again. And, since, you're playing a high tense game, you can't call out every habit you do on the fly. So they're just gonna cycle you into it, condition you to fall for it, and then they're gonna punish you for whatever option you think you made a mistake for, and or punish whatever option comes after that.
Okay,
And
that
that's
makes
what we want
sense.
to avoid. Any option, anything you don't know why you're doing, or any option that you're unsure of the outcome, there's probably not a good enough reason to why you're doing it.
Okay. I remember
Um,
back in Smash 4, way back, there was someone on commentary who was a high level villager main in our area who said that um, they wanted to see less shield, almost no shield for me just in general, because my movement was so refined at that point that it would just be more beneficial to utilize that instead of just hyping up my defensive play. And
yeah.
it's been on the back of my mind this entire time, and I just need to stay more disciplined on that.
hmm It's a hard thing to get used to because movement is so subjective. How should you be moving? What you should be doing when you move? Are you looking for? It's definitely something that you're gonna have to practice and you're gonna have to try really hard to implement into your gameplay. To be
Hmm.
honest, I haven't started implementing like real movement to my gameplay until like honestly the end of quarantine, and I haven't been able to feel comfortable with Roy until like recently, where I can feel like I can move a lot better and I can feel a lot more smoother. You
Hmm.
don't want to feel stiff and you don't want to feel uncomfortable playing your main. You want
Yeah,
to
of
be
course.
comfortable and you want to be able to control your character. So making mistakes and then shilling because you made a mistake, that's not how you properly control your character. Making a mistake and then figuring out how you're going to recover from that mistake so that mistake doesn't happen again, or whatever mistake you did, just you tone it down or you lower it or you don't even make any mistakes again.
Hmm. That was brilliant.
All right. So we're a little too stiff there in that game, and
Mhm.
I feel like you were letting yourself get pressured way too easily, and you were letting yourself, I guess, think you were getting pressured too easily when sometimes you were in a safe place or a safe position where I would have to commit to punish you.
Mhm.
And you would just make mistakes like upping or like just not doing anything or just throwing out bad hitboxes. When you're ledge trapping as well, you need to be a lot faster and you need to throw out a lot more quicker hitboxes when you're ledge trapping.
Okay.
If you
Um.
take too long when you're ledge trapping, the opponent just feels like they can just get off from ledge, or they already have the options set on how they're going to get off ledge because of the way you're reacting.
Okay. One of my big issues that game, other than everything you said, is that I'm really bad at the Roy Ditto.
Hmm.
I was spending out way too much brain power trying to figure out how to beat your Nair and Fair from ledge,
Hmm.
and it just steamrolled me a lot on like every time he got him, it just steamrolled like 60% on me, and then that led me to
Okay.
thinking about the pressure and then panicking a little bit too much, I think.
Hmm. All right. So 1 second. Blah blah. Da,
I
da,
saw you
da.
beat my Nair from ledge with jab, so I guess I just have to counter with that, huh? But
Mhm.
timing
All right.
matters.
So share my screen. You see my screen?
Uh, yes.
All right. So this is game one. So this is the first initial game where we're gonna see how you go to point A to point B, and you're not really mixing it up. And we're gonna see how you can be pressuring a lot more and resisting pressure a lot more than you are.
Okay. That skin is awesome.
All right, so first things first, the start of every game is very important. You need to see how your opponent starts because that start can be very beneficial to you on how they're starting and how you can start in a future game. We do sets in best of threes, so paying attention to every little detail you can. So even though you lose, game one, you know what to do for game two, and you know what to do for game three.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a little thing here, but we can see, I jump in and you drop down. So this should tell you that, I like to start my matches aggressively by jumping in. So in the second game, you should either do the same thing because this is a neutral start versus an aggressive start. You drop down, so you can't get hit. Absolutely, you absolutely cannot get hit for doing this. So
Okay.
it's a neutral start, and you didn't dash back until you land, which means this is a neutral start. If you dash left from the platform first, that's defensive. If you dash right from the start, that's aggressive. And if you fall through, that's a neutral start. And you can easily tell how your opponent is based on how they can start. So I jumped in, so I'm very aggressive. I want to get this on the road.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, so you dash back, and this is very crucial. So I jump in and you dash back, and the reason why you roll here is because you put yourself in a spot where no matter what you do, you don't have the time and space to get away from Roy in front of you because you cornered yourself. This is
Yeah.
something we need to avoid. It's a very little detail that you didn't get punished for, but this is something huge that you can get punished for and you can get called out, especially against characters with big zero deaths like Luigi, Robin, Kazuya.
Okay.
So we want to avoid this as much as possible because this right now is a resource you're using not even 2 seconds into the game. So this is huge.
What should I have done in that situation instead? Other than like, is the dash back correct, or should I have gone
So
forward?
so once you got into this point and you saw that I'm in the air
Mm-hmm.
and I landed with this forward air, once you did this dash back, you have to jump away.
Okay.
And this is
Oh,
fine,
okay, that makes
but
sense.
it's just the way the game started where and then since you dash back, you force yourself to, roll, you force yourself to choose the panic option. Because of the way the game started, that's just how the circumstances were, and you didn't move fast enough.
Okay, that makes
So, but
sense.
remember, this is information for the next game, so it's a small detail we just have to point out for the next game. All right, boom, right here, this is point A to point B. This is your little spot. You see? You
Mm-hmm.
don't leave this little spot in like 3 seconds. When you don't leave a spot for such a long time, even though you're dashing, even though you're moving, you're going from point A to point B. This is point A, this is point B. And you're not breaking these points at all. You're not going anywhere past these, and this is huge. Even though you just did it, and it's in the beginning of the game, this is enough information for me to know that you're gonna do this the whole game, you're gonna do it the whole set.
Okay.
So you see here too, you do jab, point A, point B, You do jab, shield, because you messed up. If you did jab, run away, and I did this forward air, you could have easily would punish this with side B. But because you did
Okay.
shield, because you knew you made a mistake, or you thought you made a mistake that you would get punished for, you pop shield, and then you're like, wait, why am I shielding? And then you drop shield because you weren't shielding for any good reason.
So in that
All right.
situation where you first pointed out the point A, point B movement, what should I have done instead? In theory, because of course every
Well,
situation is going to be different.
so once you get to here, this point A, point B, we can't be linear and we can't be telegraphed. You do it for 3 seconds, you need to mix up something else. So adding anything to a mix-up or adding anything to anything is important because you're constantly adding mix-ups to your gameplay and you're adding mix-ups that don't lose to the same things that one thing already lost to. So this point A to point B thing loses to any hit coming into that direction when someone knows that's happening. To solve that, you just simply dash away from point A to point B. So from point A you just go to point C, or from point B you go to point D, and then now you just made your area a lot bigger. So now you're a lot more comfortable because you like to dash in a lot more spaces, and that's very important.
Okay, so just cover more area.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
That was supposed to be a
Same thing here.
turnaround down tilt.
The snare.
It wouldn't
You do
have
a snare.
been, but
When you do the snare,
uh-huh.
you shield right after. Nair is -6 on shield, and that might have been a slightly unsafe Nair, but it's too sketchy for me to tech out. So you shield right after, and even though it's a hard punish to get, so you shouldn't be shielding. You could be moving away and running away from the situation, so you're not in a scramble. Right here, this is a
Oh.
scramble because we're close to each other, where any option we do is kind of RNG because of like the circumstances of the game.
Yeah.
I nair, and then now this is a scramble. So me, I up air, to check if you're gonna drop shields, check you if you spot dodge, or check if you do something else. And you see how I up air and I run away?
Yeah.
I disengage from the scramble entirely, and I see what you like to do. So even though this down tilt whiffed, this tells me that you're looking for attacks out of shield, and you're not looking for up B out of shield. So this tells me, okay, when I pressure shield, he's probably going to do an attack after, so I can pressure a bit more with doing landing aerial up B or landing aerial, and I can continue running away until I get punished for it.
So when I do that nair, would it have been beneficial in that, since we're such a neutral percent situation, should I have dashed away to see what you're going to do to download for later and then try to set it up again to assume you're going to do the same thing?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Dashing away gives way less information than a shield or a spot dodge or a roll, because dashes are the least committable out of all of those. So when you do something that's less committable, people are less likely to go for it and try to punish it because it's not something that they can punish with ease,
Yeah, of course. That makes a lot of sense.
Since Roy is also a fast character, not many characters can just like go ahead and just punish you for dashing, because Roy is just that fast. So many only like 12 to like 13 characters can match Roy's speed or go above it. So you don't have to worry about you getting chased down by almost a lot of these characters.
Okay, so I just need to stop staying still.
Basically. All right, so this happens, and then now we're just in a point B, point A, point B. All right.
I also didn't know that Roy could do that to Roy, so it's good to know.
It's because you did the up angle, and that's not true at this percent.
Okay.
The only thing that's true for this percent is side B, forward, forward, down, down.
Okay.
All right. So you see here, you get hit by the up B, and then nothing happens. You just shield. You shield here. You forward air, and then you shield. I can't punish you for doing this forward air, and I can't even get near you because of my up B lag. So there's no reason to be shielding.
Dash back.
You could realistically just do anything but shield, because again, you're playing too stiff and you're playing in one spot. If you're just doing this every time you make a mistake, it's very linear and it's very telegraphed on what you're gonna do. So you could have done things like run away, or close the gap between me and you, and then see how I like to do get out of pressure. But you see, I jump in. This is a very slow jump, and I'm just seeing you hold shield, and then that's why you get punished, because you're like, wait, why am I holding shield?
Okay. I had no idea I did that as much as I did.
All right.
This is very eye-opening. This is good.
All right. Same thing here. There's no reason to be shielding when you're in advantage. Roy. The only thing Roy's gonna hit you with from ledge is like the end hitbox with up B, but even then, you'll be able to recognize when the spacing can go over ledge and will hit shields. So you shouldn't be shielding here.
Okay, yeah,
You should be
I
throwing out
shielded. I
hitboxes.
shielded because I expected Blazer to hit me, but
Well,
I'll just have to like start
that
getting
probably
used
comes with a
to.
bit more recognition
Okay,
because we can see here that I up B, and my up B is just it's a straightforward up B to ledge.
okay,
I can't go over with it. I didn't jump, and Roy isn't really hitting up B under the over the stage unless he does a vertical. So
okay,
unless I do an overshooting one with a double jump or I do like an overshoot from below, I can't do that overshooting up B.
okay,
So all right, so see, because you're shielding, Roy doesn't have good enough frame data where he can shield and just spam options as fast as the characters. So when you shield and you throw that hitbox out, that's your like one move and that's your one move that you can throw out and that's it. Because you were shielding, because you weren't already throwing hitboxes out, I had no reason to be scared at ledge.
okay.
All right, you see here, I hit sour down tilt. Sour and down tilt doesn't work into anything, and then or sour nair, my bad. And then you just forward air and then you shield it after because you knew you messed up because the forward air didn't hit. This is huge. We
So
did like the third time we saw you shield, and this could have been the third time that you just dashed away.
the reason I did forward air there was not to get hit, but mostly to use the auto cancel lag window.
hmm
Should I stop doing that?
No, the forward air is not the problem. It's you shielding.
Okay. I knew the shielding was the problem, but I just wanted you to know that that forward air was not intended to hit anything. Because
hmm
I'm not crazy.
All right, same thing here. We dash shield, and then boom, point A to point B right here.
So I almost had it there. I just did point A, point B instead of anything that mattered.
All right,
That was just a
let's see
bad
here.
upbeat.
All right, yeah, bad up B. We
Yeah.
know down tilt's not punishable, so after down tilt, you need to see what people like to do. I've been dashing back almost the whole time, so this should give you a sign to either dash in or dash back to see what I like to do after down tilt.
Okay.
You want to differentiate how people react to certain moves. So down tilt, is a tech chase move, and it has a lot of pressure and a lot of shield stun or a lot of shield damage, and it's probably one of the most threatening moves Roy has. So a lot more Roys are more likely to throw out like an F smash or a double up attack after the down tilt. So this W necessarily wasn't too bad, but you need to see what your opponent's going to do before they do it.
Okay.
And also, Roy doesn't really have that much safe rising aerials. The only thing he has is like retreating aerials. So if he does a retreating aerial that he can't follow up on it, like a retreating forward air, if it hits, he's not even going to follow up on it. So you can save your up B for later, and you don't have to throw your up B out immediately.
Okay.
All right, same thing here. You tech roll the win, and you get away with it, and I already committed to the sliding F tilt. You have no reason to be shielding. We're
Yeah.
putting up shields that make no sense. All right. So this is already something that's a big problem. You hit the side B up, and as soon as the game falls into a juggle state and you're in an advantage, the goal you need to be looking for is covering center stage while being ready to shark the left and right platforms.
Okay. I'm really bad at juggling personally, so that's something I'll have to look
Yeah.
into more.
And also something that you need to keep note of when you're juggling is to conserve your double jump and probably never use your double jump when you're juggling.
Of course.
Because you see I double jump and I'm obviously double jumping to this platform. You double jump in and you back air. Had you just ran to center stage, you would have been able to get to there as fast as you would have get to there. So it wouldn't matter if I did this B reverse neutral B or not. I would have been getting here and here around the same time, and it would have been the same exact time for you to punish it from here.
Okay.
Because it's the same thing, it's an even playing field. So because you double jump and then you double jump to center, I land for free, and that should not be happening, especially as a character like Roy, fighting Roy. Roy is crazy good at juggling at low, close to the ground, and Roy doesn't really have the best landing options. All right, same thing here. You get onto this platform, and the only thing that can happen when you get on this platform is you're either going to go back to the corner, but that wouldn't make sense because you just went from the corner to this platform,
Mm-hmm.
or you're going to run off an aerial enemy, or you're going to drop down. But drop down is the laggiest, so it probably isn't a good idea. So this runoff is very telegraphed because it's the thing that you're most likely to do because it's the thing that gives you the most most beneficial thing for getting onto this platform. So me upping here only made sense.
Okay.
All right, you see here, this is double up. You neutral get up and you think you messed up, and then you spot dodge, and then you don't get punished for spot dodging, and you think the spot dodge is bad, so you shield it after. This is very
Yeah,
bad.
that's exactly what I was talking about when I like overcommit to defense.
All right.
This hurts
I
my
don't know why that
soul.
wasn't punished.
This hurts my soul. I'm just thank you for not going for Flare Blade.
All right. Same thing here. We're in advantage. We don't need to be shielding. If you shield an advantage, you're wasting time and you're wasting frames. This shield is up for like a third of a second, and I get away with it. And then you retreat because you were shielding for no reason. Had you just done this dash back a little earlier, and been able to punish my jump, this whole thing wouldn't have happened. If you dash back, saw me jumping, you wouldn't have gone for this F smash either because you wouldn't been able to see that I jumped. Because you shielded and you realized you weren't shielding for any good reason, you dash back and then you're like, oh, I was shielding, so he's probably gonna roll because that's the slowest thing to do out of shield is drop shield and run. So then you go for this and then you F smash.
Okay.
All right. Something that's very huge and super important with Roy as well. When you get into a disadvantage or you get hit like this, you cannot retaliate. Retaliating is such a bad thing. You can only retaliate when you get away with it. And when you're fighting, I mean, I want. This might sound weird, but when you're fighting someone who understands your character a lot more than you do, they understand how your character can approach from situations such as disadvantage, such as getting hit by this. So I know that Roy can only really land with the retaliation like an up air or a falling forward air. And if you do anything else but a retaliation, no matter what I do for the second punish, it's gonna work. So you double jumps, you have no double jump now, and you're drifting in towards me with the up air. Up air starts from the front, up front, very slightly, and then it has a back hitbox. So when you do something like this, like a forward air or an up air, it's very telegraphed and it's very easy to beat. So I just do this simple instant dash back side B. Because you retaliated. This happens in so many matchups and so many people get away with it. And, it's not beneficial for you to keep retaliating because that's one of the easiest things to exploit.
I should have known not to do that anyway because side B up is the least laggiest one. So.
All right, same thing here. You neutral B, and then you shield, and then you dash back. This is so many wasted frames. This is like 30 frames. Because to drop shield is 11 frames, and then to do initial dash is like 9. So that's 20 frames, and then you just dashed away. So whatever additional frames you do are offensive, but those 20 frames helped me a lot. So then you dash in, and then, it's a bad dash in. You get caught by your initial dash, and I was too slow on that conversion. You definitely should have thrown out backer there. I was in lag.
I guess I didn't recognize you were in lag because I was expecting another side B. Like, because I got that from the last interaction we had off stage.
All right.
Well, I'll just have to pay more attention.
This jab. All right, this is very huge, and it's a big thing with Roy. The only thing Roy can get really in the corner is kill moves. Kill moves and grab. So when you run into someone in the corner, it's very obvious that you're either looking for a jab, an F tilt, an F smash, a side B, or a grab. Those are the only things Roy can really do when he runs up to the corner. He's not nairing because if he nairs, he's off stage, and nair doesn't really work that well. He's not doing forward air because forward air doesn't kill, and it doesn't really, work that well. He's off stage. He's not doing up air because rising up air is not good, and down air is out of the question. So the only thing you can't really do here is you could back air because back air is going to kill, but back air is also way riskier, and you're going to jab first before you back it because you want Jair before you want to back air.
Yeah.
So when you run into the corner, you cannot be telegraphed with what you want. And Roy running into the corner easily tells me that he's looking for a grounded option like jabs, F tilt, or side B or F smash. So you should never commit to the corner, and you should bait people who are coming out of the corner. So if you see me jump because you're running into the corner, this tells you when you like to pressure them in the corner, the biggest thing they like to do is jump. Others like to roll, others like to spot dodge, and others like to just keep holding shield. But I jumped, so instead of going in for this jab, F tilt or whatever, you should go, okay, he jumped, so I'm gonna position myself readily and back air him because he jumped. But because of that, you get hit by nair, and then let's see how you land. You get hit by nair, you do landing up air, and then you do spot dodge. You're double upping on mistakes because you think you made a mistake when you did nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong with doing that landing up air to cancel your lag. So you do that landing up air, and then you could just disengage, run away from the situation.
Okay.
All right, same thing with that air dodge. You already know that, up air, back air is true, so there's no really reason to buffer a directional air dodge right after when you know a combo is true. If they flub the combo, then you'll be able to notice that they flubbed the combo because they haven't hit you in the time that it usually takes for that combo to hit, and that gives you an opportunity to do an air dodge or do a jump to get out of hit stun.
Okay.
All right, roll, sliding F tilt, same thing here. You commit to the corner. It's very obvious what I want or what you want, and then you do this. We need to be a lot more slower when we want kills. We can't show our opponent how easily and how fast we want to kill them. We have to make it slow, and we want to make it ambiguous. We don't want them to know that we want to kill them. All right, same thing here. It might have been a Wi-Fi thing here, but you roll away, you shield for no reason, and then you jab, and you hit sour jab, which sends really well into tick situations, and then you shield right after. When this could have been an easy jab, sour up tilt, sour or sliding F tilt.
Okay.
And because you're a drop, you messed up. That was a good up B. Let's see. We need to see nairs. Don't down tilt, don't shield. Because if you're shield, I'm just gonna keep holding ledge because it only makes sense. You can't do anything when I'm holding ledge and you're shielding. All right. Let's see here. Same thing here. This dash back, dash in, you only do this dash in because you're looking for something. You're not going to shield because you're dashing in with purpose. So this nair is really easy to kip. So this is why you can't show people what you want, because once you show them what you want, it's very obvious and they're going to call it out in many different ways.
Okay, so I gotta be a lot more ambiguous just in general.
And you see here, as soon as you get out hit stun, you don't run away. You see that the nair drop, but you pop your shield, and then boom, you get grabbed. And you were about to do a back air out of shield, but you're too slow because you're popping shield for no reason. And you jump out of hit stun. This is also very huge. We can't be putting up shield for no reason, or jumping out of hit stun for no reason.
Okay.
Jumping out of hit stun is one of the worst things you can do, and you've probably lost too many stocks because of it. So just cut it out of your gameplay. You'll know and recognize when you can jump out of shield or out of hit stun. So unless that time comes, you should not be doing that at all.
Okay.
All right. All right. You see, as soon as I get up, I'm not pressing shield. When I get hit, when I get from this, I don't put shield. I throw an attack out. When my side B doesn't work, I turn around because I'm trying to double up on this air dodge. When I get up from here, I don't shield and I don't put myself in a bad spot.
Okay.
All right. And this is very big. So when it comes to offstage and low hit back moves or low hit stun moves, it's better to stall with side B than throw out a aerial like this. Side B stalls you in the air for a good amount of time, surprisingly, and you're able to mix up and see what your opponent's going to do. And since it messes up their timing, they're kind of forced to retreat back to the stage. So since I'm playing a character like Roy, where my recovery isn't that great, I can only be off stage for so long and only have offstage pressure for so long. So because of this, you throw this backer out, and it's very telegraphed because I know how laggy backer is. So it's very telegraphed for this backer to, or for this forwarder to hit. If you did side B, instead, this backer or this forwarder would not have hit, and you would have got out scot-free.
Okay.
So let's because of our time constraints, we'll just dive into a game of Cola versus Roy, and we'll see how Cola deals. Actually, let's do something a bit different.
Okay.
Let's watch Mugen versus Sonido, because this is a lot unusual, and you might be a lot more used to watching Cola and me and not enough of these two players. So this is 1 day ago. Let's see who wins. Roy wins. So we'll see how Mugen, probably the third best Roy in the game right now, deals with Sonido. And he's not a projectile camper, but he's a camper nonetheless, and he's zoning the same way a projectile player would zone. So
I'm not very good versus Sonic, so this will help as well.
So Sonido's also a bit more aggressive than most Sonics, so we're gonna see Mugen make a lot more quick decision making than your usual Sonic.
Okay.
So we'll watch this game and we'll see what they do. So instantly off the bat, let's see how they start. So Sunita holds shield, and then Mugen drops. So, this shows Mugen that Sunita is very defensive, and he always starts defensively. So, in a stage like this on Smashville, let's see how both players start. So if we see Sunita shield or dash back, it's very obvious because he shielded last time. So, yep. So he did the same thing. He dashed back or jumped back and then did the spin dash. So he took the defensive option, and then Mugen was going for an offensive option this time around instead of a neutral option. So you can see how quickly people mix up their options on the start because of what happened last game.
Okay.
All right, so instantly right off the bat, dash up shield. Dash up shield, and laying up air. And remember, these players play a lot, or they just know each other very well, so everything that Sunita was punishing, the same thing is probably that I would punish, the same thing I would call out. So we need to see how, Mugen is going to mix up a lot of things he's going to do. All right, so, and we need to see how reserved he's going to play too, because when you're fighting zoners and when you're fighting campers, you have to camp them back. You can't go all in and rush down them all in.
Okay.
All right, so you see he plays very reserved. He's not dashing back, or he's not dashing in all the time. Playing very slow. This is bad right here because he gets hit here for dashing in because he doesn't have the time and space to dash away from to dash into center when Sonic is right in front of him like that. So he gets punished like that, right in front of him. It's very obvious. When he jumped here, there was no reason for him to not to double jump over because Sunita was not prepared to cover that. We can see how Sunita is dashing in. He's F tilting. He's not dashing in. He's not jumping. He's only covering Mugen in front of him, not Mugen above him. So he could have easily just jumped over him. All right. We see here. Dash back. Boom. So Sunita made the mistake for Hyper, or for Mugen. He does a spin jump, and Mugen dash back. Mugen didn't jump in. The whole point of the spin jump is to get out of the corner and get to center stage. And then bait your opponent to run into the corner. But look at this. Mugen doesn't commit. He dashes back. And now he's ready to punish Sonic because Sonic is right in front of him. And boom, he gets his turnaround grab. Why does Mugen go for this turnaround grab when he could easily just up beat? Because it's a read. It's a shield read. So Sunita, after Sunita likes to spin jump or after Sunita does something close by, he's going to shield. And that's the option he's going to resort to in scrambles.
Yeah, and it's just a better risk-reward ratio to go for grab too, right?
Yes and no. It was more so a read. Grabbing isn't even that safe, so it's also pretty risky.
Okay.
All right, so you see dash back. So he does these forward airs. He's throwing out hitboxes. Mugen is not shielding at all. And as soon as his ledge trap fails, he dashes back to center because that's where he's the safest. And you notice Mugen is always moving. There's no point A to point B from Mugen. The whole stage is just point A to point B.
Okay.
All right. So you see he shields, bad jump in, rolling. He's shown so many options have just been shown by Mugen right now that give Sunita answers. So boom, this is a triple up on options. He shields, he doesn't know why he's shielding, so he rolls. He rolls and then he down tilts, and then his down tilt doesn't work, and then he spot dodges, and then he goes to this bad dash grab that didn't get punished for some reason. But you see, Mugen is not showing that many mistakes, or he's not showing that he's making mistakes. He does his dash grab, but he does jab right after. And then he does side B right after to punish this at forward air. He's not shielding and he's not disengaging because he's able to see options that are coming at him, and he's able to get reads on what his opponent's going to do. Because he knows Sunita's going to try to double up on his punish, he's going for these options. So Sunita misses this forward air, and he jabbed, so Sunita's going to try to punish this jab with his F tilt. That just got hit by side B. All right, let's see here. Gets hit by that. It's like a Sonic specific thing. All right. So boom. What you see here is the same thing that you did. He gets to this platform from the air. It doesn't make sense for him to go to the corner or drop down to this close option. So Sunita just dash backs and then F tilts him for jumping in. You can't show your opponent what you want no matter the situation. Alright,
Okay.
very good recovery coming out from Mugen. Alright, boom. What is that? That's a resource. This is the third time Mugen's rolled from ledge, rolled from the corner. And boom, he's going to get hard punished for it. Mugen showed him an option. He showed him a good resource, and he got punished for it. Alright, that was good. And boom. That was nice. Why does that work? Let's see why. So he has no double jump, so the only thing he can do is air dodge.
Okay.
So this is very good. Alright. So we see here, nice. Boom, beautiful combo, beautiful string. And let's see here. So Mugen he goes in the corner. He's in the corner because he can't even hit Sunito, so he's in the corner because he can't be in center stage because he would lose center stage immediately because Sunito has intangibility. And because Sunito, goes for a dash grab, and Mugen positions himself correctly where he is facing the stage and he is not facing the corner. Because remember, if you nair or you forward air into the corner, you're not really getting much and you're just putting yourself off stage. Because he's not doing that and he's facing center stage, he's able to get to the most damage possible off of a combo.
Okay.
Alright, boom. Fast. This is very fast gameplay. He shields and then he grabs for no reason, gets punished for it. It's fine, it happens. Instantly dashes back. He doesn't get hit by homing attack and then shield after. He dashes back and then he sees how he can recover from that. And he's able to get a punish on this. Even though he got hit by this homing attack, if you're in this position after that homing attack, you probably would have shielded, Sunito would have landed on this platform for free, and he probably would have got the center for free. Mugen didn't let that happen. Mugen dashed back to the place that's, where he's the safest, back to center, or closer to center, and then just dashed back immediately without giving up any stage or any, bit of pressure. Alright. You can see here. Alright. Near jab, doubles up on attack. Not good. You can see Mugen is forward air and then drifts off stage. It's scary to be Roy off stage, but Mugen isn't double jumping and he's not air dodging to the stage because he's confident that he can make it back very easily with just his upbeat to ledge. And there's no difference from being in the corner with no jump or no air dodge or being in the corner in general than being at the ledge. Because at the ledge, you have a lot more mix-up potential than objective, mix-ups at the corner. Alright. Punish to the back air. No jump. That's the second time we've seen double jump and a hit stun. Alright. Boom. Spot dodge. What does he do after? He doesn't shield because he messes up. He spot dodges. He goes, wait, I shouldn't be spot dodging. So he's going to dash and then shield. Because he sees why he needs to shield. The reason why he shield comes up and then he shields. Until that reason where he didn't have to be shielding popped up, he wasn't shielding. He was dashing and he was moving.
Okay.
Same thing here. He dashed away because he knew Sonic was sprint dashing, and then he shielded. This is very good. And then now, boom, Sunito's in a bad spot. And remember what we said about people Roy fishing in the corner. Roy can only throw out kill moves in the corner. This nair, obvious. There's up tilt, double upping on attacks because Roy can only throw out kill moves in the corner. And then now he put himself in the corner. He put himself in a bad spot for no reason. Alright, let's see here. Mugen's moving. He's moving the whole time. He's not pressing shield. He's not doing anything. He's always moving. Alright, that was an amazing punish on homing attack. Alright, you see here? He goes to the corner. He goes to the corner because there's no point in being center, and this is fine. He's moving a lot. Look at this. He goes from here to this corner, to the center, then back to this corner, then back to here, and then to center. He's constantly moving. He's constantly changing his position.
Okay.
Alright, he's a bit slow on that punish. Let's see. Ooh, very risky. Very risky. Alright. Ooh, that should have been punished. You see? Nair. He gets punished for it, but he's not putting his shield up, and he's not scared to let's trap Sunito. Alright, that was a very, very good recovery. Alright. So you see here? Constantly moving. Was it bad? This is down air. Don't know why he's doing it. And that's not death. Alright. That was an amazing recovery. Yep. I knew that would happen. And boom. That's crazy.
Was that forward air?
Alright. That was down air.
Oh.
Or back air.
Okay, that makes more sense.
Alright, so let's see what's going on here. Why does Mugen drop this ledge trap? Runs up shield, forward airs, jabs, forward airs, and then he shields. Why is he shielding when he could be just dashing back? Alright, boom. That was an amazing call out. Alright, so that was the second time that Sunito did an aggressive jump to stage. And remember, we don't need to be double jumping, and we don't need to be air dodging or choosing resources that we don't be wasting. Sunito could have easily just side beat here, did a low jump and then a low upbeat to stage, and this neutral beat probably would not have worked. But because he does an aggressive double jump, he's able to get this hit. And the same thing goes with Roy. There's probably a lot of instances where you did a bad double jump or a bad air dodge or something that you shouldn't have done, and because of that you lost a stock for it or you got hit because of it. And that's honestly how a lot of people get hit up, because they choose options that they shouldn't be choosing when the easiest and the safest option could have just worked. So there was no point in trying to be a little extra.
Okay.
And that's it for the lesson.
Okay, cool. I learned everything well, not everything, but a lot that I needed to. And thankfully, I've been streaming Smash a lot since November, so I can put this into practice immediately. Yeah, I didn't really realize quite how bad wasting a lot of my time on shielding was. Like that seems like one of the most detrimental parts to my play.
Yeah, it's a big problem that not many people realize, and you don't really realize it until someone points it out for you, because wasting the little things is very troublesome, and you think that you're covering yourself, but in reality, you weren't even going to get punished in general, so you would have been perfectly fine regardless.
Okay, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. It's going to take a lot of discipline to get rid of.
For sure. So do you have any last questions before we go?
None in particular. The only thing that really comes to mind was, is Mugen Hyper Kirby?
Yeah.
Okay, I thought he stopped playing, so...
No, he just changed his tag to Mugen.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just definitely start watching him again, because I used to watch him a lot back in Smash 4. And I'm glad to see he's still playing, because him, and Cola, and to a lesser degree Spargo and Tweak are so helpful for learning very specific interactions. So it'll have to be something I need to do more research into.
All right, awesome. Well, good luck on your journey, man. We already set you on the things to do. For routines and what you need to be practicing, we already just basically talked about what you need to be working on. So, you should be trying to play every time that you play, or every time you're thinking about Smash. Work on the things and think about the things that you already know we have to fix, and just focus on fixing that.
Okay, so just basically stay disciplined on less point A, point B, and less shielding in just useless situations.
Yep.
Okay. That'll be perfect.
Sounds easier said than done, but once you get it done, and once you see that the constant difference in gameplay from today and tomorrow, you're gonna see the huge difference.
Yeah, definitely. And my ledge trapping used to be a lot better way back in Smash 4, but it's been gradually deteriorating, especially with the online era, unfortunately, just because it's so much harder. But that shouldn't be an excuse to give up. I just need to be more aggressive with it.
Alright, man. Well, take it easy.
Alright, you too. Thank you. Well, that is going to be a lot of information to work on. For those of you who watched this whole video, that's pretty much what a Smash lesson goes towards whenever you are looking to get one. I believe Goblin's lessons go for about $40 on Metafy. Yeah, it's $35, and you can get a discount if you are a sub to him on his Twitch. Of course, I'll be linking his Twitch and Twitter and his Metafy in the description below. So if you are looking towards getting better at smashing, he does more than just Roy specific stuff. It's just obviously he's a Roy specialist. He's a top player, so it's something you should really look forward to. If you liked what you saw here today and saw worth in it, I would recommend it. There are also a plethora of other top players who are worth looking into as far as lessons are concerned. And yeah, you'll definitely be seeing me putting this into action in my streams from here on out. And this is being recorded on Tuesday, July 6th. You will be hearing me talking about it on that stream as well as the Wednesday stream. And if you want to see me just try to get better at the game, I do stream every Monday through Wednesday, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. EST. So if you want to come join me on my journey for getting better at Smash, feel free. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next Wednesday for Pokemon, as well as my streams if you happen to stop by. Have a good one, everyone.